I'm sure you're like me and you've been seeing a lot of discourse online about AI. There was recently that book, I'll put it up here, that got pulled for potential AI use. I know on my Substack, Mariah in the margins, I've been seeing a lot of conversation about AI use with writers, authors, books. How are we going to tell what's AI? How are publishers, literary agents going to tell what's AI? And honestly, I'm not that concerned with it. I want to explain why, because maybe it's a hot take. I think it's because AI is ultimately like soulless. I was talking with a friend about how much trouble I'm having using AI these days. I have used ChatGPT in my corporate job. I do use AI. I think a lot of corporate jobs and organizations, businesses are really integrating a lot of AI. Some well, some not. There's a lot of debate about it. I know at least at my company there is. But for writing, I am not that concerned with it because the quality is really clear. As somebody who sees a lot of AI written things, the quality is so clear to me. And also, as a writer, I think in any industry, there's always going to be scammers. I saw such a great analogy on Substack. Someone was like, yeah, if somebody is churning out entire books from AI, that would be like someone buying like baked goods from the grocery store and then reselling them as their own, right? And there's only so far you can get with that. So there's always going to be scammers, right? Like stuff that's made from the grocery store is never going to be as good as something that's homemade and really like honed over time. You test something, it doesn't work, you try something else, you get feedback and you like make it better, right? It's never going to be as good as something that's just churned out, mass produced, frozen from the grocery store. I feel like it's going to be the same with AI in writing. I know for me, the amount of time, love, effort, energy that I'm putting into my book. I'm finishing my first draft this month. I'm so excited. I can't wait. But also, I'm looking at my storyboard here. Let me get it. Hold on. Hold on. Even imagine, oh my God, how big this is. Like, this is huge. It's a like 60, 70-inch TV box with all of my Post-its on it. Some of them are missing, they've fallen off, right? This is my massive, massive storyboard that I made when I was first outlining and plotting my book. Honestly, I really should get rid of it because as I was writing my book, I discovered so many like new things about my character, new things about the story that I didn't think of when I was plotting it. Like if I had put that plot, if I had put that storyboard into AI and said, write me a book based on what's here, it would have been okay. But my story now is so much more electric. It makes so much more sense. A lot of the advice that I was reading was like upping the ante for your character, like keep making it impossible, keep upping the stakes. And that's what I was doing as I was writing. And I just found so many twists and turns. It sounds kind of silly because I'm literally the one writing the book, but I think my fellow writers get it. When you are invested so heavily in your story and in your characters, I found so many different ways to up the ante, to take the story to a different place. My book is also like an WLW book. It's got two female main characters who are maybe falling in love, maybe getting a little saucy. I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. And then anyway, I was gonna say, and then maybe somebody else. Like it's a whole thing with these two, which I had on the surface on my storyboard, right? Like if I'm looking at the storyboard, I can see, all right, this is how they get together. This is the situation that forces, it's a forced proximity in the beginning. So there's a lot of that and the bones are still there. But what I was able to do with their story and with my main character's story, I gave her like this incredible background, like why she is the way she is. The plot, honestly, on my storyboard is not boring, but there's just not the same level of depth to it. Like it's fine, but what I have now is so much more interesting and gripping. And I've just had the most incredible time writing it. Writing this story, I wouldn't say like has been healing, but I think that I've been able to explore myself as a writer, the kind of writer I want to be, the kind of stories that I want to write. I realized that writing a romance scene is like deeply, deeply embarrassing to me for some reason. Like, I'm a huge consumer of romance. I love it. I have some spicy books back there for sure. They're mostly actually over on this bookshelf. I have one here, one here. They're mostly over there. You can't see them. But check out my tongue-in-cheek series if you want to talk romance. I'm no stranger to it. It was making me laugh how embarrassed I was, right? I have a wife, right? WLW is not new to me. I was so embarrassed writing it. I was like, oh my God. And just thinking up all of the different things for my characters, I don't know. I just don't think AI is going to give us the same thing that actual writers are going to be able to produce. I just don't think it's ever going to be the same. I was thinking to myself, like, even if, like, let's say I put the whole plot, I put the whole storyboard into AI, it gave me a whole, I'm doing like a 90,000 word draft. Say it gave me a whole 90,000 word draft to go back and edit that. Again, it just wouldn't be the same because I'm writing this story. I found so many different twists and turns. I thought, you know what, that doesn't really make sense. Why would she do that? Why would this situation come up? And so I changed it. And I think even doing a rewrite, even doing like a second draft of something that was AI generated wouldn't make sense. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the minority. You tell me. I'm just really not afraid of these people who are saying that they're asking AI to churn out entire books for them. I'm not worried about those flooding the market and making it more difficult for people who are actually going through the very, very painstaking process of writing a book. Oh my gosh. Like, when people say that only 3% of people, I think it is, like, actually finish their book, or maybe it's 3% actually get published, something like that. I forget what it is. It's like a really scary, weird statistic. But after spending 6 months so intensively writing, I get it, because it is not easy. It's been difficult. It's been so great, so fun, so fulfilling. I'm having the time of my life, but it's been hard. I've dedicated hundreds of hours to writing this book, and it's a terrible first draft. I've dedicated hundreds of hours to writing a terrible first draft, and to keep going and to stay consistent, knowing it's terrible, knowing I'm going to have to do a second draft, a third draft, then possibly querying, then I don't know. I'm thinking about my publishing journey and what that's going to look like for me, but I'm just saying the amount of effort, love, dedication that goes into a book cannot possibly be replicated by AI. And so I'm not really worried about that. I think the deeper concern is about like editing and putting maybe short pieces in. I know authors are getting concerned about agents, editors putting their work into AI, and that I totally understand. But a lot of the discourse I'm seeing is about people having AI churn out full books for them, or like really large chunks. That I'm not too worried about. So let me know if that's a hot take. Let me know if you don't agree. Are you worried about it? I was just talking about this with my friend. I'm more concerned about the AI companies, like the people who run the AI companies, the people who are like running Oracle, Palantir, whatever. I'm more worried about that. I'm worried about the environmental impacts. But let me know what you think. Are you concerned too? Are you not that concerned? Do you think this AI bubble is like gonna burst? Do you think like the publishing, writing community is one of the last communities to kind of get infiltrated by AI? I think the most that has ever kind of is like ghostwriting. I think like someone else writing it and somebody else putting it out. That I was kind of equating those two. So is AI just like the incredibly like amplified version of that or something? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Follow me on here for more just random hot takes, but also I have a Morally Gray series where we go through who's allowed to be a villain and who the author purports to be a villain. Who do we as a reader think is the villain? I have the At the Table series where we talk about more nonprofits, academic reads, some pretentious reads, right? And then, like I said, tongue in cheek, which is just a girly little chit chat talking all things romance, not nothing academic about that, really just like, do we love it? Why did we think this was so cutesy? Was this like a little too much? Was this not like the best romance ever? So check those out. And then of course follow me, Mariah in the Margins, on Substack. I'm there every single day. I post at least one article a week, and you can catch me on notes all the time. I'm always firing off little thoughts in there. I'm back on TikTok. I kind of took a little break there. I'm back on it. Mariah in the Margins there too, where that's way more behind the scenes and more of my actual writing journey than what I'm reading and talking about my most recent read. So if you want to see more behind the scenes about my writing journey specifically, go ahead and follow me on TikTok, Mariah in the Margins. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.